Now, the rebel leader at the heart of the war in the Democratic Republic of Congo now says he's ready to talk to the United Nations. Laurent Nkunda wants to meet Olusegun Obasanjo, the former Nigerian president who's trying to halt the continuing fighting. Tens of thousands of refugees remain in cramped camps, surviving only on aid that's now just about trickling through. Rory Challenge has more.
They may have colourful new umbrellas to shelter from the sun and gleaming white buckets to carry water in. They may even have enough food to keep starvation at bay. But what these people really want is peace. This man may be their best hope of that. Former president of Nigeria and now UN Special Envoy to the Democratic Republic of Congo, Olusegun Obasanjo. That emergency summit in Nairobi he attended last week achieved precious little. So now another go. Earlier he had talks in Kinshasa with Congolese President Joseph Kabila. And next, what the Nairobi summit left out, contact with leader of the rebels, Laurent Nkunda. He and his fighters are at the centre of this conflict and therefore at the centre of any hopes for peace.
Laurent Nkunda, nobody can say for certain what he wants.
How significant would you say this meeting is between Nkunda and the UN Special Envoy?
Yeah, basically we do hope this time the international community will be in position to force those people involved, especially the CNDP, to go back to Goma Agreement. Basically the main purpose of this mission is the implementation of the Goma Agreement. Remember last week on Friday there was what we call the conference in Nairobi to implement the Nairobi agreement, which was between Rwanda government and Congolese government. And this time I do understand the mission of Obasanjo is to implement in Congolese side what we call the Goma Agreement, which have been signed on 23 January this year, including the CNDP.
Well, with the UN envoy, Mr. Obasanjo, he talks of drawing together the strands of the various disparate groups. That in itself is an enormous challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, as that's what I mentioned earlier, this is a challenge not only for Obasanjo but also for the international community. Let's remember, on 23 January, the Goma Agreement has been signed between the government of the Congo and the 23 armed groups, including the CNDP. Before that, CNDP quit the Goma process, and on 28th August, it started the hostilities. So this is a big challenge for international community to make pressure, because this is the only group involved in what's happening in Congo, especially regarding the humanitarian crisis.
Given what you know about the DRC, I mean, you've been covering the problems there for the last 10 years, do you think we're going to avoid the horrors that we saw back in 1998 to 2003, the conflict that sucked in various other African countries?
The international community have to deal with this issue. Remember, all this started with Kagame, who invaded the Congo on the pretext that he wanted this FDLR and the ex-FAR to be removed from the Congo. In 1998, when the LCD Goma, which was a rebel-backed group by Rwanda, and so they reached the Sun City Agreement. In 2004, Nkunda came again with the same pretext about the FDLR and to protect the Tutsi minority. So this is going for a long time. That's why people are thinking this is just a pretext. The main problem in eastern of the Congo is regarding the natural resources. This is the matter. So the international community,
we'll have to leave it there. But we'll have to leave it there. Forgive me for interrupting, but we must move on. But we appreciate your thoughts on this story, on this important story. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's check out the sport now. Here's Rahul.
Vic, thank you. Season ending.
It's getting ready to go. Daddy, don't forget my squeak. Bye. Bye.
extended for another year. More importantly, the new mandate gives peacekeepers new powers. But at a time when the fighting is at its worst for years, there are those who question whether these new powers go far enough. Well, there are currently almost 20,000 UN military personnel and observers in the country. Of those, close to 17,000 are armed. And another 3,000 armed peacekeepers are expected to be deployed over the next few months. Well, as we said, the mandate has been beefed up. Peacekeepers have been given the power to protect civilians and humanitarian staff, using all means necessary.
Journalists, social society was asking for the mandate to be extended and also to be robust. So we do welcome the resolution which have been taken yesterday.
Fighting in eastern Congo has been at its worst. Widespread atrocities have been committed. More than 250,000 people have been displaced in the past few months. I mean, how much of an effect, how much difference can an additional 3,000 troops really make to what is a deteriorating situation?
Basically, it's not just the number of troops in the Congo. The best thing we wanted is a robust mandate. As you know, like you mentioned, for the last 3 months, people have been displaced. And then can talk regarding the situation in Kiwanja, where civilians have been killed by the CNDP of Laurent Nkunda, and some of them went to seek protection to the MONUC camp. But the MONUC didn't do nothing, and they were saying they don't have the mandate to use force. That's why we said this time at least there is no any excuses. So the MONUC will have the power to protect people in eastern of the Congo, so they can use force against all groups, including the CNDP of Laurent Nkunda. So at least we hope if peacekeepers who are in Congo, if they use those power, so they can protect civilians.
What do you make of concerns that potential fighting between the UN force and armed groups could endanger the peace process?
So basically, as you can see, since August, basically there is one group who started these hostilities, and is the CNDP. And for a long time, people had a blunt eyes to condemn and to give the UN peacekeepers the manpower against the CNDP. As you know, I think so last week, even this morning, I was in touch with Congo. So there are new fights we started in, I think yesterday, and it also meant my groups in the Congo.
Guy Momat from London, thanks very much.